يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون.
There's no iman or love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that can be combined with the love of the enemies of Allah. Wala in bara is to love and to despise. It's to have loyalty and it's to disavow. It's to adhere and repudiate. It's a principle of Islam whether you like it or not. Ibn Taymiyyah defined it simply and clearly. He said wilaya is the opposite of adawa. Wilaya is love and nearness, and adawa is bara'a, and it's despising and furthering and distancing. Tribes have wala and bara based on tribalism. There's no way they can exist without it. Nations have wala and bara based on nationalism. They can't exist without it. Sports teams of various sports need wala and bara for the team. Political parties must have wala and bara for their parties to exist. The Crusaders had wala and bara to their faith. The gangs in the street can't exist without wala and bara. They all have wala and bara. Their wala and bara is on a low, earthly, dunya foundation. It's free and far from truthfulness and justice and far from the guidance and revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course. The world has no problem when wala and bara is based on any foundation so long as it's not based on la ilaha illallah. Wala and bara is the backbone of this ummah. Wala and bara defines who the enemies are and our stance towards them. That's why they request of their agents to remove it from curriculums. And then they go tell their other agents to dilute its meanings. What's amazing about our wala and bara is, yes, we must despise, but it has teachings and limits. There's no oppression or transgression in it. Wala and bara teaches you to repudiate and despise, but gives you the limits so you will not oppress or wrong anyone. Their wala and bara, to their democracy, for example, it has no limits. We've seen a sample of it in Iraq, in Syria, Afghanistan, Kashmir, Palestine, and elsewhere. If you don't have a backbone, what are you? You're paralyzed. And that's what they want this ummah, a paralyzed ummah. There's absolutely no way this ummah can elevate or stand without wala and bara, and pure wala and bara for that matter. A broken back are those who have no wala and bara. They're paralyzed. An unhealthy backbone is when wala and bara is diluted or its meaning is tainted. It makes it a hunchback ummah, a bent spine syndrome ummah, an ummah always walking in hunchback ruku' to their enemies. Wala and bara is why the soft-hearted, tearful Abu Bakr as-Siddiq turned angry and admonished, and it's why Umar threatened, and it's why Khalid roared, radiyallahu anhum ajma'een. Now no one cares if wala and bara is slaughtered or uprooted or attacked or diluted. To show you how significant this aspect is, the United States officially and through their officials and official releases requested of their stooges in Bilad al-Haramain to take wala and bara out of the school curriculum. And I studied grade school in Medina in the early 80s. The Islamic studies curriculum of the public school I was in, and all of them, was focused on Tawheed and wala and bara. I memorized most of al-Usul al-Thalatha in second grade, and it was part of the public school curriculum. The United States Department of State Ambassador Hanford was among the first, or maybe among the first, who publicly requested that the Saudi stooges remove wala and bara from the curriculum. And he confirmed the progress. Some murji will say how you take the word of a kafir or kuffar release statements. When we left Medina to return to the United States, my father developed a very, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him a long life full of deeds. He developed a very strong bond with the principal, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, of the school that I was in. It was the first school that was part of the regular public school system that was very unique and special in being the only one in Bilad al-Haramain at that time like it. It was a public school, but it combined to the regular public curriculum and added emphasis on Quran. When someone reached junior high, he must memorize the entire Quran. And in high school, it was devoted and focused on qira'at. That's in addition to the regular worldly sciences and the other Islamic studies. We had 3 hours a day of Quran. The rest of the public schools had the same or similar Islamic study curriculum, except for the 3 hours of Quran per day our school was special for. When we were about to return to the United States, my father asked the principal of the school, Ubay ibn Ka'b, that's the name of the school, he asked him to give him a copy of the entire curriculum from 1st grade to 12th grade. My father wanted to continue teaching us the curriculum at home after we returned to the United States and to teach it to others, which he did. The principal gave the entire curriculum from 1st grade to 12th grade. Tawheed, fiqh, tafsir, geography, history, science, math, physics. It's very easy to compare and see the difference back then and today. Sheikh Nasir al-Fahd, Fakkallahu bil-Izzi Asra, he took that to heart and he mentioned it many times if you pay attention in many of his writings. In fact, many heads of so-called ulama there wrote a unified statement protesting this change years and years ago. Wala and bara irritates them so much that one time they want it out of the curriculums, and another time they direct the munafiqeen to dilute or taint its pure meaning. Elsewhere, they want to defame or silence or imprison anyone who speaks about it. Wala and bara is serious. It's not for recreational and leisure study and reading. It's kufr and iman. It's Jannah in Jahannam. It's victory and failure of this ummah. They try to give the illusion that wala and bara started with Imam Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, rahimahullah ta'ala, a few hundred years ago. And they think it ended, or it's on the verge of ending, with the rise of the recent interfaith movement. I got bad news for them. Wala and bara came with the word of La ilaha illallah. Its age is the age of La ilaha illallah. Wala and bara has been around way before Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, and even before our beloved, honored, noble Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Messengers specifically mentioned it in detail before our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam did. قد كانت لكم أسوة حسنة في إبراهيم والذين معه إذ قالوا لقومهم إنا براء منكم ومما تعبدون من دون الله كفرنا بكم وبدا بيننا وبينكم العداوة والبغضاء أبدا حتى تؤمنوا بالله وحده. No doubt interfaith is on the rise due to the rise of the munafiqeen who attribute themselves to this ummah. But wala and bara can't be extinguished. If they're able to take the Quran out of the hearts and off the shelves and out of existence, then they'll be able to take wala and bara out of existence. And that is brightness that can never be extinguished, and it will remain until the angel blows in the trumpet.
Diamonds and pearls and palaces awaiting the man of Tawheed. Virgins and wine, never-ending time, and gardens with rivers beneath.